what is simple logistics? Okay, that's very confusing. People get confused a lot that what actually the simple logistics is. What do we mean about simple logistics? And whether this is the right course to take, whether this is the course you are looking for. So first, I will quickly explain you what is simple logistics. So the first question I want to answer here is what is simple logistics? Now, what happens that when SAP comes with SAP S4 HANA journey, their first major products was Simple Finance. Simple Finance was a product basically where they come up with the simplification of finance module. Why finance first? Everybody knows the answer because that's the most popular module in SAP. Everybody or most of the organization they definitely go for finance. The another logistics module are the secondary, but the finance is the most sellable modules for SAP. So they first focus on finance and they bring up the simplification for finance in their product called as Simple Finance. Then they started their journey. The all the simplification they did here, the data model related simplifications, the Fiori application related simplifications, all of this simplification they have done it here. And then they started in the next phase, they started their logistics simplifications. So when they started their logistics simplification, Simple Finance was already out and get successful and get hype in the market. So when they were doing a logistics simplification, a term came in the market which was simple logistics. That all of the logistics simplification, when we say logistics, is everything apart from the finance and the technical part in SAP, your SD, LE, PP, MM, all these modules cover in the logistics. So they simplified the data model and they did introduce of a lot of new function features and they also introduced a lot of new Fiori application. So all of this simplification was called as a simple logistics. Okay, but this simplification they have done step by step from 1511 to 1610 and this journey is still continuing. But SAP said that they cannot come up with the different products for a finance a different product and then for logistic a different product. So they said that they are not coming as a simple logistic. So simple logistic is not a product. Some people thought about that simple logistic is a product. It's not a product. It's not a module, and there is no certification which is called the simple logistic certification. Simple logistic is only terminology which explains you about that in SAP S4 HANA, what are the changes in the logistics. Simple finance was the changes about the finance. Simple logistic is the changes about your logistics module. That what are the delta part is there in the logistics module. Okay. So what is then the product? So the product is SAP S4 HANA Enterprise Management. This is your product, which cover your simplification in finance and simplification in logistics both, and the both are a continuous process. We started from 2015 and currently we are in 2019 model which we call 1909, SAP S4 HANA 1909. So our training would be on this 1909 version. So this is simple logistics. It's the delta or it's the simplification and the advanced and new features in your logistics module. So that's why we also use the same terminology, simple logistics. And I created this course by picking up the topics, handcrafted topics, which would be useful for the consultants who know the basics of any of these modules and who want to upgrade and upskills themselves on SAP S4 HANA. So what do we cover in our simple logistics course? We cover in our simple logistics course that delta part of SD, delta part of MM, and delta part of PP. That what are the new function and features has been introduced in SAP S4 HANA in these three modules we cover. Plus on top of that we cover basics of HANA, plus basics of S4HANA and activate at high level. So these three parts is common for any consultant. Whether you are any consultant, any functional consultant, you need to know all of these things. Basics of HANA, basics of S4HANA, and there are a lot of things under this bucket. We'll go into the detail of our curriculum and I will explain you. Okay, so this is our course, the Delta part of PPMMSD, basics of HANA, basics of S4HANA, and Activate. When we talk about basics of HANA, we don't go into the technical. In this program, we will not go into any coding part. This is purely for the functional consultants, that whatever the technical part we cover is only till that point that what a functional consultant should know about of HANA, HANA as a database. Only that part we cover, not beyond that. Let me quickly take a screenshot of this so that I can share with you for your reference. Okay. So I hope with this explanation, you would be clear what is simple logistics. Now, what kind of certification you can go ahead after this course? So there are the three certification is there: Upskill SD, Upskill MM, and Upskill PP. All of these three certification you can go ahead. Although Activate, I do provide the separate trainings, which is around 30 hours of training, but the basics of Activate also we have covered here. So with the simple logistics, also many of my students have also cracked the Activate certification. So you can also, if you practice a little bit more, you can also clear Activate certification also. So that is a focus area for our training. Okay, let's proceed ahead. So what is the objective of this course? Objective of this course is you, as I have explained, you know the all new features of SAP S4HANA. You get certified with any of these modules, all three or one of the module. What is your key modules? You get certified with that. You will also be able to get chance to have a cross-functional knowledge. If you are a SD consultant, you will be able to know about MM and PP. If you are a PP consultant, you would be able to know about MM also. Our major focus is on this part, Fiori. Most of our cycles which will be running is not on the GUI, although GUI also I run a cycle to show you, but our major focus in Fiori, so that you come to know what are the new Fiori applications, how to use them, how to activate it, and how it can simplify it and answer a lot of open question which ECC doesn't have, that can be provided by Fiori. That would be our major focus area. Get hands-on on S4HANA and do practice and get it master of it. Okay, so we'll be providing you the server access, and we'll also providing you the exercises which you can follow and do some hands-on on S4HANA. It's not a theoretical training, it's properly a practical training. We'll be doing things from scratch, from configuration, building your own company code. Every student need to do plant, config you need to build. You need to set up your master data, business partner materials and everything, and then you need to run cycle in Fiori system. So that full process will be doing it. Okay, let me proceed ahead. Now, what is the course curriculum? That what exact I have so far I have explained on the high level, but now we'll go to that what exact topics which we cover in our course. So these are the basic topics which we'll be covering in our S4HANA Simple Logistics. So we'll be doing first with the basics of HANA and the basics of S4HANA Solution Architect. So we cover this topic because of two reasons. Because people come from the different backgrounds. Everybody is not from the same background. There would be people who doesn't know anything about HANA. There would be people who doesn't know anything about S4HANA. So we bring everyone on the same platform so that they know the basics. When we talk about basics of HANA, we don't talk about anything technical. We talk about only those stuff which a functional consultant should know about HANA. And the another reason to include these topics because of certification. There is a lot of question has been asked on basics of SAP HANA and basics of S4 HANA in the certification. And it is good to build your foundation. You know all of the basic concept of SAP HANA. so that you would be able to understand that a lot of new features, functions which is coming, DDMRP, fuzzy search, why we would not be able to do it in ECC. There's a significant reason behind it. The main reasons are because of this HANA database. This in-memory database is very powerful. So you should, as a functional consultant, you should know about those function and features which you can deliver by using the SAP HANA. So we will be talking about all of the basic stuff of SAP HANA, the journey, how SAP has done the journey to SAP S4 HANA. All the terminology we'll be talking about here. There's so many terminology. Some people called HANA, somebody is calling S4 HANA. Then you will hear suit on HANA, central finance, simple finance, simple logistics we have talked about. These kind of a lot of terminologies are there. HANA Studio. So we'll talk about all of this basic terminology so that you understand those concepts. That those what are those things? Okay. Then we quickly switch to S4 HANA scenarios, S4 HANA implementation scenarios. We talk about the different deployment paths, how you do the conversion. Conversion we cover in detail. It's of everybody's interest. How the conversion need to happen, what kind of tools will be used, and the most important question, which people doesn't know, that what is the role of a functional consultant in a conversion? What kind of things as a functional consultant you need to do for the conversion? That would be covering here. SAP Cloud Products. This training, please make a note, is on SAP S4 HANA on-premise 1909. Okay, SAP S4 HANA on-premise 1909 will not be providing any access to the cloud products. Will not be talking about the SAP S4 HANA cloud product. But we have a one session where we'll be talking about what are the different cloud products are there and how they are different from the on-premise products. What challenges you face in the conversion? Business partner is the biggest challenge in conversion. We'll talk about in detail. Okay. What is the sidecar scenario? What is the central finance scenario? What is the landscape consolidation? What is the difference between your greenfield conversion and landscape consolidation? If you are consulting, how you should be guiding your business, that which kind of scenario they should adopt for to go to SAP S4 HANA. What are the consideration factors? What are the challenges you should notify them? Everything we'll be talking about here. SAP Activate will be having one detailed session. There is a lot to know. It is known as a SAP Activate Manager. But people think about that this is only for the people who's managing the products. That's a wrong concept. If you are a basic consultant also, there's a lot of things you can utilize from SAP Activate. It comes with a beautiful documentation, beautiful templates, which you can directly refer at free of cost. A lot of templates, a lot of methodologies, related documents, PPTs are available in SAP Activate, which can simplify your implementation and it can reduce the time. How agile methodology can be used. People also get confused about SAP and agile methodology. It doesn't match exactly, but how you can run SAP S4 HANA project with the agile methodology will be covering. And then your basics of simplification list. So this is the basics of HANA and S4 HANA we have covered so far till this point. Let me take a screenshot of this. Okay, let's proceed. Then we'll be going on the very important topic. One of the very, very important topic we'll be covering here is this part. Fiori, the basics of Fiori. Okay, it's very important. We'll spending almost 2 sessions, more than 4 hours on the basics of Fiori, so that you understand what is Fiori, what is role of a functional consultant in implementing the Fiori application, what kind of applications are available, embedded analytics, what kind of embedded analytics is available, which can provide 80% answers to your reporting requirements, how you can do the troubleshooting with the Fiori applications. That would be covering in very detail. And then how your HANA migration cockpit need to be used. We'll be having a detailed session, how you can use LTMC, how you can use LTMOM. We'll be covering in detail. Then we go to our simplification journey. Before we switch to that, we'll be having one session where we'll be doing a detailed configurations in system. We'll be setting up our system. We'll be doing all SPRO configurations. Each students need to do it to maintain their own company course, on plant, and do the practice on that. Although we have a business best practices system available, uh, best practice configuration is available, but we recommend you do your config your own, you create your master data your own. That's how you will be getting the best out of this training. Then we'll be covering the generic master data part. The most important part which will be strengthening here is the business partner. How to do the business partner config, how to do the conversions with the business partner, what to do with the CVIs, everything will be covering here. All of the master data related changes we are not covering here. We are covering only the generic changes. Then when we switch to the module wise discussion, then we go into the detail of each module master data. What are the changes? What is the changes in the PP, MM, SD? That part will be covering. Then it comes to the advanced planning, one of my favorite topic, and we'll be putting a lot of emphasis on this about the planning part, how the planning need to happen with SAP S4 HANA. So any topic we start, when we talk the delta, it is not like that I am directly explaining you what is MRP live, or I'm directly explaining you what is DDMRP, or now with 1909 we are having a predictive MRP. I would not directly shift to those topics. So if you are belong as a SD consultant and you have never worked on MRP, no need to worry. Any topic which I touch from the basic. First, I will be explaining you what is MRP, why we use it, what is the shortcoming of MRP, why you need to switch to these new functions of MRP, DDMRP, PMRP, why you need to, why is the requirement, what kind of things business challenges would be addressed by this. So that things we'll be discussing first. Then all of your AATP, one topic which is not there, we'll be including is their ABC. ABC is introduced in 1809 and enhanced in 1909. That is your alternate base confirmation with ATP. That will be covering in detail here. The changes in the inventory management, a lot of reportings are there. Seeing a stock is very simple. With the Fiori application, transferring a stock from one S-log to another S-log is just a few clicks away. No need to enter anything. Very simplified things are there. Data model has been highly simplified for inventory management. So that things we'll be discussing here in these topics. Okay. Then we come to, so in this, I have also covered the shop floor control. So the PP, most of the changes is there from the planning side. So planning side changes have been covered here. And then we have covered here that your shop floor control related changes, production execution related changes we are covering here. Then we'll be shifting to the order to cash. Whatever the things has been changed for order to cash, everything will be covering it here. Okay, so your data model got changed. That will be covering it here. What changes are there? We'll be doing a order to cash process. There are beautiful Fiori applications are available for order to cash. So that would be covering here. So you can do the issue analysis with the order to cash and fulfillment. That would be covering. Then BRF plus will be covering. Settlement management will be covering in detail. Credit management also, the things which has been changed in SAP S/4HANA will be covering in detail. One new topic for 1909 which will be introduced here. Now we are having workflows. Your sales orders, contracts has a workflow which earlier till 1809 it was only introduced for MM. Okay, which we call it here advanced workflows with Fiori for MM. Now with 1909 they have also introduced for SD part also. So that also will be going in detail. Then we'll go to the procure to pay simplification. Procure to pay also we have a huge amount of changes. Self-service procurement is there. One topic which is not covered here will also be covering at high level is central procurement. A lot of procurement analytics application is there. Supplier evaluation with questionnaire, activity management. These all are topics are new topics which was not available in ECC. supplier segmentation and the classification. So, and these all things would be covering here. So this is our high level course curriculum. I know that by seeing this slide, you would be having a lot of questions that what are the topics which we have not covered you was expecting. We'll quickly coming on to that. Just give me 5 more minutes before we open for the question and answer. Okay, just give me 5 more minutes and then we'll be having interactive sessions. Okay. So what are you going to get from this training? So this training you will be getting some unmatched learning of the subject. The way we explain, although it is not a face-to-face training, but the experience you would be getting it is more than a face-to-face. Okay, so we follow the traditional whiteboard approach where each and every scenario has been explained on the whiteboard by creating some diagrams so that it can be imprinted on your brain memory. All the topics which we cover from basics to depth. Okay, we start from the basics. So if you are worrying about that you only know one module, but we are covering 3, don't worry. Whatever the topic we will be selecting, we'll select very basic of it first, and then we'll be going in depth. Just to let you know what I mean to say that basic first. So we use this. This is from one of our previous batch. So let's say when we go to the AATP, okay, I don't simply switch to AATP to explain what is AATP and how it would be working. We go through very basics of ATP. First, we try to understand what is ATP and then what would be available in advance available to promise. First, we try to understand with the ATP concept how the allocations happen, how your stocks has been allocated with the ATP concept. What are the shortcomings in the ATP concept? Then we switch to the AATP. So that's what we call about the unmatched training experience, which you will be getting it from here. All topics from basics to advanced will be covering it. So if you don't know anything about ATP, no need to worry. We'll be covering basics first, and then we'll be going into the details, and then with product allocation, advanced BOP, alternate base confirmation, we'll be going each of them in each one by one sessions in very detail. So these are the session notes. So the thing which you are seeing here, these are the session notes. So you need not to worry about sitting in the sessions and noting down the stuff. So we will be creating a session notes for you and we'll be sharing this OneNote access for you. Okay, so let's say the conversion versus greenfield, we have discussed in detail that what are the key things which we need to notice, that whether we should go with the conversion project or whether we should go with the greenfield project. So we discuss here the key bullet points and discuss in detail. So you need not to note it down by yourself. So we'll be noting it down. We'll be putting it to the OneNote document and we'll be sharing with you. So that OneNote sharing also you will be getting it. Recording of each session you will be getting it from the Google Drive. So all of the sessions what we be doing in the interactive training here would be recording into the recording and will be shared with you in 24 hours through Google Drive. And we are giving access for 2 years. Earlier this access was 6 months. We have increased to the 2 years. Exercises also would be provided through OneNote document. So if you will go here in this OneNote document, we have a separate tab for exercise. We have separate tab for links. We have separate tab for T-course, okay, that which you need to use. So that would be there. LTMC, if you need to know step by step what things you need to do. LTMOM, what you can do, and exercise guide with step by step what things you need to do for the LTMOM. So we have a multiple exercises here which will be providing you that after the session you can do your hands-on by following these exercises. We'll be providing you all of the study materials. The PDF books, presentation decks would be shared with you. We'll also help you to prepare your resumes. So we also give the sample resume. We have a OneDrive. Let me also show, not the OneDrive, the Google Drive. Let me also quickly show you the Google Drive. So here you would be getting everything. Your session videos, you would be getting it here. All the session recorded videos, you will be getting it here. The books, you will be getting it here, presentation deck, resumes, everything would be shared through the Google Drive. Then we'll be also giving you SAP certification preparation access for the mock test access also. So this is the key function which we are providing to you. Another people is not providing. So we have created one website. So with this, you would be getting a simulation access for exams. So SDMMPP test series, you would be getting it. So let's say these are the products we have. So this is SDMMPP, all 32 different tests, you would be having it here. So you can see in detail that what are the different tests are here. You would be able to take all of this test to prepare for it. The unique thing in them is that the experience is same as you are giving a SAP exam. It would be having a same experience. If I will show you quickly one test. So this is sourcing and procurement configuration, 10 question test is there. So if you want to practice, or if you want to practice on the inventory management, you can start your test here. It will go exactly in the same manner as SAP test happens. Okay, so you will be having a questions and then you need to answer those questions here. Okay, step by step. And then once you submit your test, you would be able to get your reports that what questions are right, what questions are wrong. And you would also be able to know that what are the explanation for those questions. And that also come as a free of cost. That helps you a lot preparing the certification exams. Anyone who has gone through from this preparation, everyone was able to clear the certification.